Welcome to Ready, Set, Sold with your host, Bryan Vogt. Are you wanting or even thinking about selling your house but don't know where to start? Good thing you found Ready, Set, Sold. And now, real estate broker, Bryan Vogt.
Welcome, everyone, to Ready, Set, Sold. I am your host, Bryan Vogt. Happy New Year still. I think you can say Happy New Year to at least February 1st, and maybe a little bit further depending on what the weather's like. So hopefully you've still got your resolutions going in shape, and whether that is getting in shape or whatever you're looking to do, and getting yourself in the right mindset. And part of that mindset could very well be about getting your house sold. And if you're going to be selling your house, 90-95% of the time, you're going to have to buy another home, and that's a good thing too. So today we've got a bunch of people, a bunch of experts that are going to be talking to us about different things in the home selling and possibly the home buying process. The first segment, we're going to have New American Funding with Dave Hoy and Deb Rust. Deb is going to be here today. Dave had some things he had to do, and that was okay. We've got the better-looking one. Don't tell that to Dave, Deb. Deb, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
I only call in so that I can get flattered. You know that, right?
and as it should be. As it should be. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a new year, right? And Dave's not listening. He's in a meeting, right?
Right.
We're learning some professional things. And not to get too far, this is the first segment we'll be talking with Deb about some really great things, especially what to do with the tax refund that most people get, or hopefully that they get. In the second segment is going to be Deb again talking about another great program that New American has, and it's a 1% program, and I'll just kind of tease you with that. That's going to be talked about. Deb's going to be filling us in with that, some great information. The third segment, we're going to be talking to a flooring person, a flooring expert, just talking about different ways as far as carpeting, possibly replacing carpeting, things of that nature when you're selling your house. The fourth segment, we'll be talking about a home improvement person that we're really excited about having. And then the fifth segment is going to be the tip of the week. Having said that, let's get into what we were talking about to start with, and that is you've got some fantastic information dealing with tax refunds and how maybe buyers should be looking upon them. Is that correct, Deb?
Yeah, and it mostly just came to me to talk about it and talking with friends and other peers about, income tax season. There's 20% of the population or 30% of the population that still fears income tax season, or you have people like me, single mom, homeowner, that I love income tax season more than life itself, and I'm probably literally one of the first people to file so I could get my refund. But what I noticed is towards the end of the year, people get a little strapped with, Christmas, and there's always that, do I have enough money to close on a home? There's all kinds of expenses that happen, moving expenses, starting up of utilities, all that stuff, and that can be completely overwhelming. And I think what people forget about this time when they get their refund is how to best utilize it. So I was talking to a friend of mine who said, I can't wait to get my income tax refund. I'm going to pay off all my credit cards, and this and that. And, the reality is a lot of credit you open over Christmas is 12 months same as cash or whatever the case may be, and they're still renting. And that kind of triggered me to think, to put it out there of, use your income tax refund for your down payment, or use your income tax refund for the moving expenses, or, just to pad your checking account so that, maybe if that payment's a little higher than what you're paying in rent, you're cushioned for a few months. So I just really want to urge people that now is the time to start thinking about that and putting that income tax refund to the best benefit. A lot of people, go through the process with me of getting pre-approved, and, once they hear the final number of, this is your down payment, this is your closing costs, and they're thinking too, I've got my last month's rent, I've got whatever other expenses might be going on. I'm just happy to sit down and talk with people and allocate it, to a point that it would be beneficial. and, of course, push them in the direction of buying. We've seen house inventories come up a little bit in the last couple months, and we've got a lot of buyer pre-approvals out there, and there's something that's just not pushing them over the fence, so we want to push them. And if it's money, that's what it's for. So let's educate and allocate and get people in.
I love that, because we actually know of some buyers that literally that's the situation they're in, that they started the process, they kind of got stopped a little bit, but they are using that now as their cushion. They filed early. They have an indication of what that's going to look like, and they're moving forward. And I love that idea, and I think it's one of the things that sometimes that you brought up, that buyers just don't think about that as much as they should. Now, if I could ask, and I don't know this, but I'm just curious, do you have to have them to refund in your bank, or can you use that if someone knows they're going to get $2,500 or $3,000 or whatever that amount of money is? Can you use that as a starting point? How does that work?
Yeah, that's what if we know it's coming, obviously they would need to file or at least get it, close to that point. But if we know that check's coming, middle to the end of February, we can get all the way, just make sure we extend the closing far enough out to where they actually get it. But definitely that doesn't stop the process. So, pre-qualify them, get the loan in process, get it moving, get the appraisal and everything. So when that income tax check comes, we're ready to roll. So yeah, I've got several loans in process right now where it's just, and I don't even think you can file till after the 4th or the 9th of January, but I have people that are already expecting a $6,000 check or an $8,000 check, and I know they'll get that around, Valentine's Day or somewhere in there. So definitely we will consider the future payout.
Well, no, I love that, because I think that's fantastic information, because I don't think people realize that you guys at New American Funding have that ability to be able to project out. And of course, we're expecting the government, I know we make jokes about them, but they usually with tax refunds, they're pretty good about that. Once they've told you one thing, they're going to give it to you. But I love the fact, and I think that's huge, that people that are sitting on the fence, that think they have to wait until the check is in hand or it's actually been dropped and deposited into their bank. So I think that is huge. I'm glad you brought that up.
No, that's absolutely true. When you apply, if you've got your tax return completed, and I know that's the one you filed, it's as good as money in the bank for me.
Wow, I love that. And I guess the other aspect of it too is that can give you, by knowing that and contacting you guys, can give buyers an advantage, actually a step on that maybe, because quite frankly, I have not really heard that from many lenders, being in this business as long as I have, about that capability. So again, just having that knowledge on the buying side, just for your buyers' information, can get you into a house sooner than your competition, and the market is still very strong.
Absolutely.
So that's a win-win for the buyers. It's a win-win for the sellers. It's a win-win for everybody, and that's exactly how we like to do it.
Absolutely.
So is there anything special that someone would have to do? Is it just something of just contacting you? Is that the best way to do it?
I always think contacting me is the best. Probably 7 out of 10 calls that I get in a day is me consulting them for the future. It may be a month, it may be 2 months, it may be 6 months, but I can get, I think we should take part of your refund and pay down your car. We should take part of your refund and do this to bump your score up a little bit. There's just a lot of different things that I can consult people on, and I don't ever mind doing that. I always say I'm kind of a cultivator of buyers, and that's perfectly fine with me. I work with people for months and months and months, even though the contract may only be 3 weeks, and that's completely fine with me. I'd want people to be in a position, not only on paper, but comfortable when they get into the home, that they're affording the payment, that they've done everything right.
I love that, and we're running out of time in this segment, but what I really heard from you is that you understand that there's a consultation part, that it's not just getting them some money, it's not just rushing them into a house, it's not just this, that, and another, and all of a sudden wondering what happened. That if somebody needs the time, not everybody does. Some people, have maybe more knowledge than others, but wherever that person's at, I love how you guys take the time, making sure that you get it done right, and that everybody's in good hands when it comes to buying really their biggest asset that they have. So congrats to you guys.
Thank you.
Well, just to remind you, Deb is going to be on us the next segment, and we're going to be talking about the 1% down payment. And this is huge. If you don't know about this, it's been out there for a little bit, but they kind of pulled it back, and then they brought it back. And Deb's going to be talking about a 1% down payment. You don't want to miss it. You're listening to Ready, Set, Sold. I'm your host, Bryan Vogt. We'll see you in a few.